Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Ethan, and this is Roster United, episode 17 now? This is amazing. Now, this isn't no mini podcast today, or mini episode, I should say. Today is a real podcast. Today is a real thing. So that's what we're going to be doing today. I'm super excited for you guys to be here. And yeah, we're just going to hop right into it. So today we're going to be doing two parts of the Roster United show today. For example, we are going to do a few things. We're going to go in depth today with a few more characters. And to be exact, we're going to go in depth with 3 characters today. And then after we go in depth with these 3 characters, after that, we're going to do a new series called Underdog. Here, we're going to pick a character per week, and we're going to talk about that character. Literally, we're almost going to go in depth with that character, seeing what we like about their power, seeing what we like about their stats, and then at the end, we're going to see if that character is really underrated or if he's truly what he is or what she is. So yeah, some cool stuff. After that, for part 2, we're gonna do hero and zero, and a ranking at the end. So this is gonna be a very packed show. Unfortunately, I do not have anybody here with me right now, but that is okay. Under the circumstances, that is fine. That's not gonna kill our happiness. That's not gonna kill um, the funness, I should say, of the podcast. So let us begin here with the show. Let's go in depth. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, before I do continue here, I just like to say that I am so happy that all of you are here listening. So happy, I truly am, from literally from the bottom of my heart, that you guys are here listening. We have made, and this is counting it, we have made right now in the podcast 35 episodes. We have done 35 episodes. Can you believe that? In just 35 episodes, we have more than 200 listeners listening to the podcast. So just I gotta tip my hat off to all of you who are listening. It's really amazing, honestly, that you guys are here listening. I never actually thought it would be this big. 200. Can you believe that? 200. That is amazing. People reaching out to me as well, uh, giving me subjects and whatnot on what to do, and things like that. It's just really amazing. I'm so happy that you all are here listening. 200. Man, that is impressive. So wow, I am very grateful that you have all stuck around with me, and I've gotten 200 followers. Can you believe that? In less than 2 months. I've started Roster United around what, April? And it has grown tremendously well. So just thank you so much for that. And I almost have to say thank you to Simon as well. It's kind of weird. I know they don't sponsor. I know they might not even know about this podcast, but I have to say thank you to Simon for making this game that I love so much that I have made a podcast revolving around it. I'm just so happy that I have a game to talk about and I have followers to tell my ideas to, my crazy opinions about characters and stuff. It's really nice. I had a fan tell me that they love hearing the podcast as well as they are waiting for their Marvel United package to come in. And in the meantime, they are listening to my podcast to see how the game is. And I just have to say, I'm super happy that you are here. I'm super happy everyone's here. And I understand if you don't really have time to listen to a podcast, that is understandable. Okay, that is understandable. I understand that. Sometimes I don't have time to catch up to every episode on my podcast or podcasts that I follow. But I'm just so happy that there's just so many listeners taking their time to listen to me. This is just, man, I mean, I didn't even want to put myself in the spotlight, and you guys pushed me into the spotlight. So it's really amazing that you are listening here. Anyway, um, enough tears, enough enough support. Well, not enough support. Keep the support. I want the support. This is doing great. It's doing very well. But anyway, let's continue, I should say, to the rest of the podcast. We're gonna go again in depth with a few things. Also, I forgot to mention we're not just gonna do in depth and underdog. Right in between the middle of these two segments, I'm gonna do a little like a little oh boy, what's it called? Upcoming news and stuff like that. Some updates, upcoming news and things like that. Just I tweaked a few things here and there in the podcast and things we're doing in the future for of course the fans as well as here. So it's going to be really cool. But let's go in depth here today. Yes, let's go in depth here today. Um, with three more characters. Can you believe that? We are almost nailing to a point where we have almost talked about every single character. Like every single character. I am so happy that we have done that and that you are all here with me to talk about it. So let's do this. We're going to do it, all right? Iron Fist, Daredevil, Jessica Jones, and you know what? Just for fun, let's do Elektra, because why not? Right? Yeah, why not? Let's do that. Let's do all the Defenders, right? Never really seen the show. Um, but hey, you know what? I don't care. It's Marvel. Anyway, so we have here Iron Fist. And just a few quick notes about Iron Fist. I think he's great, but you'll see what I'm saying here. Well, actually, you won't, because he's kind of dead. Anyway, let's see here. He's got 3 moves, 5 hits, 6 heroics, and 3 wands. Now, of course, for those of you who are new listening to the channel, when I'm reading these symbols, or when I'm reading these numbers, these are the symbols or the whole count of the symbols on the card. That's all, basically. You want characters to have a high number, at least more than 3 if you can. And a lot of characters do, but we've seen, for those who have been here in the beginning, we've seen lots of characters who have less than 3 or 3 exact, which is okay. I guess that's average, but I like to see 4 or higher, honestly. So, anyway. So Iron Fist, again, 3 moves, 5 hits, 6 heroics, and 3 wands. Let me take a sip of water here. All right. So just looking at these stats, I like his heroics. 6 heroics. I mean, tell me that's not good. 6 heroics, 5 hits, that's great as well. But again, we all know in Marvel United, for those who are new to the game, for those who have the game, or for those who have backed X-Men United as well, we all know that moving is very important in the game. That's where you get to places. That's where you do your heroics and your hits and stuff. Moving is very important. Iron Fist has 3 moves. That's okay. You know what I mean? Like, that's okay. I I don't know. I I think that's okay, I guess. But for what he has, though, for the 5 hits and the 6 heroics, I'd expect more moves from him. I don't know about you guys. You guys might think 3 moves is nice, but you know me. You know what I've said about characters before. 3 moves with these good stat numbers, I don't like. I really don't. It's almost like a running back in football, right? Okay, the guy is very powerful. He's very tough. You can't tackle him, but he's got that one flaw. He's not fast, right? It's a big deal to a running back, especially. And same thing for Marvel United character. In a very different, complex board game way, Iron Fist moves 3 times, which is okay. But I don't know. Maybe I'm making it too big of a deal for the 3 moves. I'm gonna keep it short and sweet here for y'all. I think 3 moves is not that good for what he has. I wish he had like 4 moves at least. He also has his ability. Every character in Marvel United has at least one ability. One ability. Man, Ah. He has at least one ability. Now some characters have up to 5 abilities, sometimes 6 abilities, and especially with the new X-Men United characters coming next year, there's probably a lot more that's going on. But Iron Fist only has 3 of the same ability. It's called Chi Augmentation. Now, again, I might be saying this wrong. You know I'm probably saying this wrong. But anyway, it says here deal 2 hits, split as you like in your and adjacent locations. Excuse me there. So we see here deal 2 hits, split as you like in your and adjacent locations. I like that. You got 2 hits. You got 2 hits. You can deal them however you like. You can hit in both adjacent locations. You can hit both in your location. You can split on your location and adjacent ones. There's many combinations there, and it really just depends on what's happening in the game and how the game is set up. That is a perfect power. Now, honestly, if we were doing Underdog, I'd say Iron Fist is an underdog. I've only played with Iron Fist like what, maybe 4 times, which compared to the rest of the characters that I've played, like Punisher, Captain America, Spider-Man, that I played with them maybe 20 times. I've played Marvel United, no joke, 140 plus times. This is no joke. I have it written down every time I play. I've played it 140 times in 6 months because the game came out 6 months ago. So yeah, it's been really fun, and I've learned lots of new things, and my mind's changed throughout the process of the game. Anyway, Iron Fist, amazing character. I like his ability though. He's the hit aspect where he can split it in adjacent locations. That's good. Now I know a lot of fancy characters have move to any location and hit there. Ooh, or deal 2 damage anywhere you'd like. Ooh, that's good. Well, it is good. I can't lie. It's good. But I think that this is an underdog kind of. I think this is an underdog power. I really do think so. I just like it. I don't know. It gives him range. You know, sometimes, especially with how this character is built as. With low moving stats, having that extra range is good for him because he can't move that much. And having those 3 cards where he can hit adjacently, that is really well. So I really enjoy that power, especially for what he is built like. And I might have to play him later this week. I might have to play him, or maybe now. Maybe now. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, I do like this character. He's a hitter, heroic character, I would say. He does have 5 2 symbol cards. Now, if you don't know what 2 symbol cards, it's pretty straightforward. It's cards that have 2 symbols. They could be the same. They could be mixed in different combinations of moves, hits, and heroics. And he has 5 2 symbol cards, which is average. It's good. It's okay. I would say it's okay. Um. So yeah, it's fine. It's fine. So Iron Fist overall is a fun character, really cool to play as. He's kind of a cool range, but at the same time can save a few civilians here and there. So that's really fun. I think this character is good. For those of you at home, I think you should try Iron Fist. He might be um, cool. He might be a cool character, especially against Ultron, because Ultron puts out lots of minions, lots of thugs, and Iron Fist can really take out lots of them. So I think Iron Fist is good. So overall, it's a 3.5 out of 5. I didn't like the moves. His ability, I mean, I think it's good, but again, I know I've said positive things throughout the entire process, except for the moves. But I do have to say one little thing on the ability. It can be a home run. It can be how do I say it? It can be tough to do. I like the range, but sometimes you're not gonna always go up against a character that puts up lots of thugs or villains, right? You're gonna put a lot of characters that have heroics, which is why he has 6 heroics. That's amazing. But sometimes you just have to kind of make sure that where you're at fits. Be patient with the ability, and you'll be fine. 2 simple cards, good. Overall, 3.5 out of 5. That's all I have to say. I don't think he was a 4 because he's not such a great character. I've played with him 4 times, I said. 5, maybe. I don't know. One of the two. But, I've played with him a couple of times. And when I played with him, I just never got into him. For some reason. He's such a cool character. His stats are nice. His ability is good. But I just never got around to him, just how he his play style. I don't know. It's probably just me, but I didn't really enjoy. I enjoyed playing Iron Fist, but we probably played against some villains that were not suited for Iron Fist. So I didn't really use Iron Fist to his full potential, which I probably have to do very soon. Anyway, we're gonna go to the next character, Daredevil, and you know what? If you guys want to follow us, you can always go to rosterunited.boxmode.io. The link will be in the description below the podcast, and hopefully you can see it. And there you can copy and paste. Um, you can copy and paste the uh, the website or the link, and then put it on your browser, and there you go. There you can go to the all MU stats, or all MU hero stats, or whatever. I think that's what it is, which is basically all Marvel United stats. Scroll down and you'll see Iron Fist. You'll see Daredevil. It's not the most fanciest app in the, or excuse me, it's not the most fanciest website in the world, but it'll do. It's fine. I like it. I mean, I've seen lots of people use it, especially those who want to find characters and their abilities and things like that. So yeah. So if you want to follow along, always do that. Anyway, let's go to Daredevil. Daredevil here. Oh wow, I didn't count Daredevil's wilds. Oh boy, I need to fix that actually. Anyway, well, Daredevil here has 3 moves, 4 hits, 7 heroics, and 3 wilds. He has 3 separate abilities. One of them is called Radar Sense, which is gain either a heroic or hit token for each location you enter this turn. That's a good power, I think. Gain either heroic or hit token for each location you enter this turn. I like that. The problem is, though, he only has 3 moves, and he somehow wants us to move as much as we can on a turn, for that's how much we can gain on the location. It's not equally fair, I would say, because how am I supposed to move a lot if I only have 3 moves? You know what I mean? Like, ugh, I don't know. I don't really like that. But I guess if you team him up with a good mover, he would be fine. Blind Justice, gain 1 more token for each thug you defeat this turn. That one makes more sense because Daredevil has 4 hits, which, again, it's not a huge thing, but it's solid. I like it, I think. Gain 1 move token for each thug you defeat this turn. So it's good to defeat thugs to get these move tokens. Then with these move tokens, you can do the radar sense, which says for every location you enter this turn, you may gain either a heroic or hit token. So yeah, I think that's pretty good. I like it. I mean, you just have to do some combos there and make sure everything works out good. He also has the Man Without Fear. It says here, gain 1 move token for each civilian you rescued this turn. Again, rescue, heroics. He's got 7 of those. And I can kind of see his pattern here. The Man Without Fear, Blind Justice, where they gain 1 move token for each thug or civilian you defeat this turn. That helps a lot with the Radar Sense, gain either heroic or hit token for each location you enter this turn. So basically, in this, and when you play as Daredevil, which I think most of you will because he is pretty cool, to play as. You want to get Blind Justice power and the Man Without Fear ability. Excuse me, I should say ability more. Because it gives you more move tokens if you do it correctly. And then with those move tokens, you can gain even more tokens. So he's kind of a token man, the token master. Sadly, he cannot give those tokens to another teammate. But hey, you know what? At least he gives them to himself. He can do some more things. Am I right? So I think his abilities are cool. You just have to play them correctly at the right time. Remember to go to those locations on the game where you can swap back and forth your cards. Get your card from the storyline back in your hand. Replace it with a card that was already in your hand. Doing that, getting more move tokens, that'll be really good for Daredevil because that's the only thing he really needs. He can hit fine. 7 heroics, that's amazing. He's a very heroic character by far. And I said this about Iron Fist with his 3 moves, and I should probably say the same thing with Daredevil. He should get a lot better with that. But the difference between Daredevil and Iron Fist is that Iron Fist had range, right? He had range. He can do his thing. Daredevil here he can defeat and rescue civilians and defeat thugs, and with that he can gain tokens. So I personally think that I don't know. It's almost the same thing, but it feels different, and it is different, right? Gaining move tokens. So in order to move around the board, and it's hurting my brain just to explain this. But basically, you guys understand probably the combination of this. It's pretty cool. I like it. I like it. You just have to, yeah, the stars have to align. I don't know if that's an old saying or not. I don't know. But basically, everything has to go out perfect for you to be able to get the full satisfaction of these 3 abilities. Moving wise, Daredevil does need help with that, but his abilities kind of cover that. So, yeah. I think Daredevil is good. I gave him a 4 out of 5 because I thought his his abilities just gives him more things to do other than Iron Fist range, which is great. Don't get me wrong, the range on Iron Fist is good. It's really good. But Daredevil, just getting those tokens, and having a big stack of hits and heroic tokens are more valuable in my opinion, than doing more range. That's what I think. Also, Daredevil has 5 2-symbol cards, which is okay. Again, as those of you who already know, or those of you who are new to the game, 5 2-symbol cards is average, as what I've seen so far. So it's fine, I guess. 5 2-symbol cards is okay. Now, just for the sake of time, we won't do Elektra. We'll save her for next week. But we will still go with Jessica Jones here. So let's do her. Let's talk about her. All right. Jessica Jones. Interesting character. Just so you guys know, I gave her an overall of 4 out of 5. I usually rate my characters out of a 5. And I gave Jessica Jones a 5. Or, excuse me, a 4. Excuse me, a 4. So, let's check out why. Jessica Jones has 5 moves, 5 hits, 4 heroics, and 3 wilds. Nice, solid all around. I can't lie. Just a quick note there. Nice, all around character. 5 moves, 5 hits, 4 heroics, 3 wilds. That's fine. Now, for those for those who don't know, and for those who already know, 3 wilds is average for a lot, and I mean a lot. Maybe 80% of these characters, 90% of these characters have 3 wilds. So just so you know. Anyway, Jessica Jones, not bad stats, but what is her ability? Let's check them out. She's got Sonic Protection, which says you may draw cards until you have 3 in your hand. This is good. Again, cards that are in your hand are your lives. Every time you take damage, you will discard cards and put them under your deck. If you have no cards in the beginning of your next turn, you are KO'd. So having this Sonic protection where you can draw cards until you have 3 in your hand is really valuable. If you have one card and that card's Sonic protection, you're gonna draw 2 more cards. That is amazing. You get to heal up for free. I enjoy that. I really like those kind of characters. That means you can really stay in the game longer without being worried about being KO'd necessarily. So that's really cool. I do like that. I like that a lot. We also have Private Investigator, which has revealed the top card of the Master Plan deck. You may move to any location. Now, I like this. You can reveal the top card of the Master Plan deck. You can check it out. You can check that card and be like, okay, Rhino is moving here, or Modoc is moving here, and he's gonna do this, and he's gonna lay out thugs, and if we don't go to this location, he's going to overflow, which overflow is very bad, by the way. And you're like, all right, everybody's like, okay, well, now we know what he's gonna do. Now, for the second half of that ability that Jessica Jones have, you may move to any location. So you don't just see what the villain is going to do in its future turn, but you also get to move wherever. So that means you can prevent overflow, prevent basically a lot of disasters that can happen in the game. There's tons of things that can happen in a game, especially since every game is different in its own way. So moving to any location and looking at the card of the next Master Plan deck is really amazing. I do like that ability. And for those who have Marvel United, of course, I'm not you. I don't know your opinions. I don't know what you like about Marvel United characters or their abilities. But Jessica Jones is pretty awesome. I can't lie. I mean, yeah, it's really awesome. She also has Expert Detective, which has revealed the top card of the Master Plan deck. Gain wild tokens equal to the movement number written on it. Basically, here that means that when you reveal the Master Plan deck, for example, let's say Modoc, you look at his Master Plan deck. If I flip it over, his movement. Usually, villains have a card that tells the movement if there's a BAM, and then the power at the bottom that explains the BAM, basically. For example, Modoc. Here I have a card that says move 3 to the right. Now, if I was playing with Jessica Jones and I did Expert Detective Power, that means that the number 3 on the movement of Modoc's upcoming card is how many spaces I will move Jessica Jones. Oh no, excuse me. I would gain 3 tokens equal to the movement number written on the Master Plan card. Sorry about that. I think I was confused with another character because another character said that you may move the many spaces um, of the movement on the Master Plan card. Sorry about that. I think I was getting a little confused there. No, but basically here it's the same thing, but you gain wild tokens, which is amazing. Because wild tokens you can move, you can hit, you can do heroics, you can do anything you want with wild tokens. So it's really nice to do that. I do like that power, but it's kind of risky as well because you don't know what's going to happen in the Master Plan deck. You don't know how many times they're going to move, right? So I would like it. It's a risk taker, but I like it. I enjoy that. I really do. And so what we learned from Jessica Jones, she's an all-around character. She does have 5 2-symbol cards, which again is average, so it's okay. And I gave her 4 out of 5, and I think that's where I'll keep Jessica Jones at. Very solid character. I remember one of my family members who first played Marvel United, and now they're big fans of it and play it all the time. But one of my family members, they love Jessica Jones, and they played as Jessica Jones in the game, and I can tell you how many times they've played with her, or no, how many times I can't. Okay, wait, let me back out. I can't tell you the number of times they played with Jessica Jones. There you go. That's how you say it. Yeah, I mean, they've played with Jessica Jones at least 15, 20 times, which you might say, yeah, it's not that bad. It is. It is. It's not bad, but it's a long time. A game of Marvel United is 20 minutes. So if you times that by 20 times, ooh, that's a long, long time, okay? Now, just for the sake of time, I'm not going to actually tell you this. I might at the end of the video, who knows, at part 2. But that's a long time. So they love Jessica Jones, and I can't lie. I like her too. Really solid character for Marvel United. Probably one of the top characters. She might be in a high tier against everybody else. Actually, I kind of like her more than Daredevil and Iron Fist combined. I really do. Jessica Jones is just cool character, very solid, all around amazing character. Alrighty, so after going into a nice, long, and deep, in depth, talking about three characters, um, we've learned a lot about these three characters. Honestly, I've learned a lot from these three characters, and it's really nice. But now we're gonna move on to a next segment. It's not gonna be Underdog, like I've said. It's gonna be the upcoming um, news stuff like that. So let's begin. So in in Roster United, as you know, we have our podcast, but we don't just have our podcast. We have an official website that we've worked pretty hard on it. We're not the best code people, but we've worked hard on it. We've tried our best, and yeah, it's pretty cool. Anyway, so just a few new things here that I just wanted to talk about the website with you. Um, so when you get to the actual page, you'll see the visit our podcast up in the top left corner. If you tap visit our podcast, you'll go to the main menu. You won't actually go to the actual page. So if you want to go to the page to listen to our podcast, click on the logo next to the visit our podcast. If you do that, it'll take you to anchor.com, anchor.fm/roster united here. Um, and here you can see all of the new, or excuse me, not all of the new. Actually, you get to see all of my episodes that I have made. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. Again, don't press visit our podcast, press the logo. If you do that, it'll take you there. In the main screen, you'll see the Welcome to Roster United. You'll see alerts, which are basically, upcoming stuff or new things that have come out in the website or in the podcast, such as, for example, mini episode 17, the interview with Ethan, and this other alert which says 6 new characters are now in the MU stats. So that's pretty cool. You scroll down, what do we do? Hero stats, give you a roster, and if you scroll all the way down, you'll see we do our very own podcast called Roster United. Hear it now on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Radio Public, and more for free. We do podcasts every week. Hear about Marvel United in a new way. Thank you. Visit our podcast. Now, podcast is highlighted in a yellow green kind of color. If you tap that, it'll take you to the podcast page. Anyway, there's some new things here. For example, I've renamed the top menu. For example, all heroes. It used to say all heroes. Now it says all MU heroes. Now, the reason I called it MU is because X-Men United is going to have its own characters, and I wanted its own page on that. So, yeah. And of course, all the same for the villains and as well as the MU hero stats. So, yeah, that's basically kind of what's been a little different. Also, just something really quick as well. I have taken out the MU villain stats. I used to do stats like I do with the heroes. I used to do that, but with the villains. But I just thought it's just too hard to do it, and it takes lots of time just to do one villain. So I decided to skip on that and just go with the hero stats. Anyway, I want the villains to be kind of a surprise, because no one really. I mean, some people care about the villains, about what they do and stuff, but you usually look at the website to see the heroes in case you forgot their stats or their abilities. That's what you usually look for in this. So yeah, that's really it. That's kind of new. We just renamed a few more stuff. X-Men United's gonna come here and it's gonna have its own page with its own hero stats and its own little roster. So we hope you enjoy. Anyway, so after just a little update on the website, we are now gonna continue. We're gonna go to the Underdog series. The Underdog series. Now, here in the Underdog series, we are going to look at characters, literally, almost like in-depth wise, but not really. And we're we're gonna go to our hero stats, and we're just gonna randomly select a character, and we're gonna see if it actually no. You know what? We're gonna start from the bottom. No, we're gonna start from the top to the bottom. We're gonna start all over with every single character every week. And we're going to start with Captain America. And usually this is going to be simple. We're going to start with Captain America here. We're going to see his stuff, what he does, what he is. Then I'll give my opinion about that character. And if he's really an underdog. That's it. That's all we're going to do. Now, next week, we'll be releasing lots of new podcasts, lots of new entertainment, because that's really where we're going to do our stuff. That's the week. Next week is the week. And we're going to do lots of cool things for Underdog. And we're gonna express more more not feelings. We're gonna express more opinions there. So it's gonna be really fun. So Captain America here, he does 4 moves, 5 hits, 7 heroics, and 3 wilds. Honestly, that's not bad at all. He can move, he can hit, he can do heroics. I like that. Ability, he has leadership, which says give a wild token from the pool to another hero. I like that a lot. I like giving others tokens. I really enjoy that. I really like that team play aspect of the game. And Captain America does that. We clearly see that Captain America is also a very heroic character with 7 heroics. And he also has 7 too simple cards. Can you believe that? 7 no, excuse me. wow. I am losing it. Not 7, 6 too simple cards, which is above average. That's really good. And you know what? In my book, I said this. I can't believe I said this. I said, in my book, that is a 4 out of 5 team player. Having 2 symbol cards, like lots of them, is really good. And Captain America has lots of them. So that's really good. So that I enjoy this character. I have played with Captain America, and it said here on the website that I have played with him more than 5 times. That is true. I've probably played with Captain America now more than 15 times around there, and that's more. I don't, that's more. I've played with Captain America probably more than any other character I've played with. So, yeah, I like Captain America. He works really well. Is he an underdog? Heck to the no. He is not an underdog by far. And yes, this segment is going to be a little shorter than usual. But the reason for that is because Captain America is not an underdog. You expect that from him. When I first got Marvel United, I first got my copy, and I saw the stuff, and I saw his cards, and I played the game 140 times. 140 times later, I've still seen that Captain America keeps up to date. I have played with every single character multiple times. Multiple times. And still Captain America is probably one of the best characters of all, because just what he does. He has tons of 2 symbol cards. Doesn't just help himself giving more actions to do. He also has more 2 symbol cards to give to his teammates. And I just like that aspect of him. I think honestly Captain America is one of those characters that is perfect. He's very balanced in a way, and I just really enjoy playing with them every time. If you have a copy of Marvel United, just the base box, you'll be satisfied with Captain America. And if you're gonna play with me, if you ever found me and we're gonna play Marvel United, I will probably be Captain America if you had only the base box. And even if you had all the other expansions, I might still pick Captain America. I just love that character. He's not an underdog by far. I really enjoy him. I have him here 4 out of 5, and honestly, I should change that to a 5 out of 5. I just think he's so perfect. I've played with him, and I think I've only lost two times. I've only lost 2 times with Captain America. So he's just a great character. Love playing with him. He really just goes with everybody. Like the worst character in the game, which is Howard the Duck, can team up with Captain America, you're gonna win every time because Captain America just carries the team and he just makes it better. He doesn't just carry it; he makes the team better. So I really enjoy that. And Underdog, no, not at all an underdog. Oh no! Wow. So after a very 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 long podcast that we've made here today. We've learned lots of stuff. We learned about the underdog. Captain America is not an underdog. We've learned that. We've learned that he is a great character, and that if you had the base box, you'll be satisfied with him. You'll just have a good time with him. We've also learned that Iron Fist, Daredevil, and Jessica Jones are all very solid characters. Especially Jessica Jones is probably in a higher tier than both of them. I thought Iron Fist was a good range character as well as a nice heroic character. He just had to work on the moves. And Daredevil can work on the moves, but you have to make sure everything runs smoothly. You have to make sure everything is perfect for Daredevil to work well. Jessica Jones, she's kind of good at how she is. You don't even need her abilities. Her stats are nice and solid, nice all-around character. We've also learned about new updates on the website as well. Some new things that we've made, some changes here and there, and yeah, we just kind of try to make everything a little better experience, I should say. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this has been a fantastic podcast. I'm sorry these last few podcasts have been kind of long. I don't know if you guys like that or not. I do. I really do. It's longer. You don't have to wait another week or a few more days for another one to come out because you already listened to one of our podcasts for 20 minutes. Now this is a little longer. You can take your time. It could take a few hours to get it through. Maybe it depends how you like to hear your podcast. But anyway, this has been a great fun time. Thank you for listening. I am your host Ethan, and this is Roster United.